to Secondary Treasures, Unlocking Your Future. This is our first episode of a show designed specifically for students in secondary grades in St. Lucie County and their families. We are hoping to make sure that you're informed about all the wonderful opportunities in St. Lucie County and help you to plan your future. Today we will be featuring a program about all of our attractor programs in St. Lucie County at 4 of our high schools. Our attractor programs are designed to allow students to access curriculum at certain schools where very particular specific curriculum is offered. So for 8th graders, you will have a chance to learn about our attractor programs and decide if any of them are right for you. Transportation is provided to these programs, however, it is on a more limited basis, and the stops may be further from your home. Qualifying 8th grade students who are interested in applying for one of the following programs for the 2015-16 school year will have a chance today to learn about the process and learn some particulars about the programs. Today we will be featuring the Agricultural Science Program and the Veterinary Science Program at Fort Pierce Westwood, the Marine Oceanographic Academy at Fort Pierce Westwood at Harbor Branch, the International Baccalaureate programs at LPA and Port St. Lucie High School, as well as the Aerospace and Engineering program at Fort Pierce Central. Students who may qualify for these programs will receive letters in the mail next week informing you of an event that will take place on November 6th to learn more details. So today will be just a brief overview. I'm very pleased to introduce our 2 special guests that will be telling us more about the International Baccalaureate program, Mr. Henry Sanabria, Principal at Lincoln Park Academy, and Ms. Bridget Hargadine, Principal at Port St. Lucie High School. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sanabria, we'll start with you because the community is probably very well aware that we have a long-standing, very successful college-level program called International Baccalaureate at Lincoln Park Academy. And for the benefit of our students, can you please share with us what that program really is?
Well, Dr. Wild, briefly, the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program is a rigorous pre-university course of study which helps meet the needs of those students who are highly motivated and academically oriented towards post-secondary education. It prepares students in using the whole person concept, and at the end of the course of study, the students are required to take 6 exams which can garner them college credit if they successfully pass the exams.
Very interesting. What expectations are held for those students in the International Baccalaureate program?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the program is geared towards those students who are academically oriented and are very motivated when it comes to their academics. And so expectations are high. We actually ensure that the students maintain a certain GPA and that they are passing all of their courses. If they don't pass their IB courses, then there is a chance that they may not be eligible for the diploma program, which is specifically offered at Lincoln Park Academy, unlike at other schools where they offer different types of selective coursework where students can select one class and not an entire course of study.
Okay, so the program is extremely rigorous and helps the students to build a competitive transcript.
Absolutely.
For college entrance. So therefore you have entry criteria to get into the program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We require our students who are looking for entry into the program, one, to have maintained a 3.0 GPA in middle school. They had to successfully complete the Algebra 1 course. They also have to have had achieved a level 4 or 5 on their FCAT, both reading and math, unless they've taken, obviously, and that's in 7th grade, excuse me. And then they are also required to write or provide a sample essay, and we also look at attendance criteria to make sure that they are the type of students who love and enjoy coming to school and have a very good attendance record.
Okay, so we want to make sure students are aware that you have to really be dedicated to your studies and really show us that you are willing to work hard to be successful and build that very competitive transcript that Mr. Santabria was referring to. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So moving from our longest running attractor program to our newest. Welcome, Ms. Hargadine.
Thank you.
Port St. Lucie High has had an International Baccalaureate program for several years now.
6 years in the making.
6 years, wow. So can you share with us, is the program the same as Lincoln Park Academy, or are there some differences?
Well, in many ways, it's the same program. We offer a full diploma program at Port St. Lucie High School, and we follow all the same guidelines for an International Baccalaureate school as at Lincoln Park Academy. We do offer the opportunity for students to not be full diploma candidates, but to decide to take 1 or 2 courses in IB. We also have been expanding our program into the visual and performing arts.
Okay, so Port St. Lucie High School is well known for their arts program, performing arts, dance, and so forth. So you are expanding the IB program to overlap with that performing arts program. Tell us more about that for students who may be talented or interested in that area.
Absolutely. The IB program, the World program, does offer courses in the arts, and so we currently have an IB theater program, and we also offer IB film studies. We are going to be offering IB dance for the first time this next school year, and we will be one of the few schools in the country that offers IB dance.
Wow, that's very exciting, breaking new ground down at Port St. Lucie High School. Thank you so much for sharing. So we hope that we have a lot of students who are interested in taking on the challenge of IB at either Lincoln Park Academy or Port St. Lucie High School. And I want to thank our guests for being with us for this segment of Unlocking Your Future. At this time, stay tuned to hear about 4 more attractor programs in St. Lucie County that may be of great interest to those of you who have an interest in science. Stay tuned.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. And together as one we'll start to see some change.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people. Connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Welcome back to Secondary Treasures. I'm excited to hear more about the attractor programs in St. Lucie County. So for this segment, we have 3 additional guests. We have a very distinguished panel here with us today. Let me introduce Professor Atkins from the Embry-Riddle Aero Science and Engineering Program at Fort Pierce Central. Welcome. Mr. Brandon Perdue, the Agricultural Science Instructor and Veterinary Science Instructor from Fort Pierce Westwood. Welcome. And Mr. James Sloan, the Assistant Principal at Fort Pierce Westwood, who currently oversees the Marine Oceanographic Academy at Fort Pierce Westwood. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. As we talked earlier, we learned about the IB program, a college-level attractor program in St. Lucie County. Our other attractor programs are college-level programs as well as career technical programs. Let's start with the very unique and unusual program at Fort Pierce Central, which is a partnership with Embry-Riddle University. Can you tell us about the activities that students would have a chance to partake in if they applied to and gained entry to the aeronautical engineering program at Fort Pierce Central?
Yeah, we offer a multitude of courses within the program. All of them center on the application of science, math, or engineering. So you might step into our introductory class, which is usually reserved for our freshmen, our entering 8th graders, and you might see them designing, building, and flying a rocket. You might step into one of our collegiate level courses, perhaps our meteorology course, and see our students actually developing from scratch a forecast for some city or town across the United States. They actually do that every class period throughout the semester. If you were to step into our space and planetary science class, actually today, you'd see maybe 4 or 5 students huddled around a dry erase board, solving for a trajectory between low Earth orbit and a Martian orbit, working together. Of course, our aeronautical science or aviation classes, you might find a student flying a flight simulator or perhaps flying a drone that they've programmed themselves. Our engineering sequence of courses, you might find a student working through a design project, some of which they choose for themselves.
Wow, that sounds very exciting. And I mentioned the connection to science there. So what careers would your students go for in the future?
Yeah, really, a preparation in math, science, or engineering prepares a student for a multitude of careers, and even the additional opportunity to reinvent themselves throughout the course of their career if they desire. Really, you could find them working anywhere from Silicon Valley to Wall Street, literally, and everywhere in between. We have students right now who have graduated, actively pursuing, students who wish to pursue things such as astronomy and the study of the stars, design in any number of engineering disciplines. Of course, we have a large number of students who want to find themselves in the left seat of a wide-body jet as a professional pilot. And we also have a population of students who don't necessarily have any long-term interest in some of these career fields specifically, but maybe have their sights set on a med program or a law program at some point in time, and they know they need a rigorous undergraduate degree program to make themselves look attractive to that prospective graduate school. So a whole diverse range of careers and students consequently.
So you mentioned the collegiate level courses that you teach. Those are through dual enrollment with Embry-Riddle University, is that correct?
That's correct. Our students are earning the very same credit that they would earn on our main campus in Daytona Beach, building a transcript that is undifferentiated from the students on our main campus.
And sometimes students worry with dual enrollment courses whether or not they'll transfer to other institutions.
Sure.
Can you explain to the students what happens if they do not follow through and attend Embry-Riddle University?
Sure. All the students are, saving significant time and money participating in the program. The credits that the students earn can transfer to any institution inside or out of the state of Florida. So for some of our technical majors, folks who want to go into technical majors, these credits might transfer directly into their degree program of study. For some folks who decide to undertake non-technical degree programs, these usually fulfill mandatory electives, such as a mandatory science elective and such.
Wow, that is so exciting, and what a great opportunity for our families to learn that students can be earning these college credits on our high school campuses in programs such as yours.
Sure.
So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And like the International Baccalaureate program, there are entry criteria for applying for your program as well.
That's
because
correct.
of that rigorous college curriculum.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Professor
Thank you.
Atkins. Okay, so sticking with the science theme, Mr. Purdue, at Fort Pierce Westwood, you are actually teaching in two of our career technical programs that have a very strong science emphasis as well. Agri-science, which is typically referred to as agriculture,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as veterinary science.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with the ag program, as people in St. Lucie County tend to know that program. Most people have a vision of what they think that program is, and a lot of people associate it with farming or very traditional agriculture. I know the program does include that, but can you tell our listeners more about what agriculture really is today?
Yeah, agriculture is a very diverse, is very diversified compared to what it was 100 years ago. Our students are actually going to different fields as of marketing. They're going into agriculture law. They're actually taking what they learn here and they're applying it in college and actually going into these different diverse careers besides just wearing overalls and being in the fields and planting and things like that. Whether it's engineering and making sure that the right fertilizer amounts are getting on the right plots, creating drones so they can actually go out and see where they're taking that aerospace technology out there. Our career fields vary anywhere from communication all the way down to being in the field and doing what you enjoy and taking it back to a grassroots effort as well. So we have pretty much everything that a student could want in the agriculture industry because actually all the world revolves around agriculture in some way, shape, or form.
And you mentioned being in the field. If students are taking courses in the ag program specifically, what is the classroom environment?
The classroom environment, you can ask my assistant principal, depending on when he comes in the classroom. He can actually see us in the classroom on PowerPoint, using some computers and learning the technology-based end of it to where we're actually in the barn or we're actually in the pig pens, where we're actually either dissecting something or we're actually going in and castrating things. We have some things coming up next week where we're actually applying some medicines and things like that. Depending on where we're at, or we're on the other side of campus planning and actually growing gardens for our students who actually run a business where they start from ground up and they run the business and they actually sell the fruits and vegetables, and they're donating to the Treasure Coast Food Bank as well, and they run that as a business, and they sell eggs and they sell vegetables to the teachers, and they have to market that as well and run that just as they would any business.
So there's the marketing and business connection as well as strong science presence once
Yes,
again.
ma'am.
Fantastic. And so you mentioned the animals that are part of the ag program and medically related activities. For students that are interested in medicine or veterinary science, you also have the veterinary science program at
Yes,
Fort Pierce Westwood. Can you tell 8th grade students a little bit about that program?
That's the exciting program, especially for me. I enjoy all the crops and the business management side of things of agriculture, but my passion is in the animal science field. And so the vet assisting program, our students come in, they come in as 9th graders, they go through Vet 1, Vet 2, Vet 3, and Vet 4. By the end of their actual career, they will be earning a CVA, a vet assistant degree that they can actually take on and apply that later on, whether it's going to college and they are getting college credit for that degree, or they're actually going on and working in a veterinarian office and they actually have a degree that they can take that and apply that to their payroll and get a higher wage, you could say. But that's something where they learn the basics of animal care, animal handling, how to actually take procedures, and to scrub into some of your actual surgeries and things like that. We have a surgery room where we bring veterinarians in, and they'll actually perform surgeries in our classroom environment, and the students can watch that. Our seniors and juniors will scrub in with those veterinarians and actually help assist with those surgeries.
I have seen that before, and it is so amazing to see that hands-on activity with the students at that level.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're talking about industry certifications, and we offer those in several of our programs in St. Lucie County, but these industry certifications will allow students to go right into that field and maybe work their way through college or stay in that field. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. The two certifications, we have the agri-technology certification, which that allows students to take to any institute in the state of Florida and get 6 college credits. But it also allows them, and it holds weight, where they can go into the ag industry right away. They can go into a diesel college, they can go into a mechanics type college and apply that, or they can actually go and work for the USDA and they can have some clout with that in the industry. The vet assistant as well, the industry certification with that, as I said, also holds college credit. So if they go into an institute and they aspire to go on possibly to be veterinarians, and they can take some of those college credits with them, but they can also work as a vet assistant and actually get that hands-on experience while they're in college.
So these students could take their academic courses through dual enrollment, as Professor Atkins was talking about what dual enrollment is, which means you're earning college credit and high school credit at the same time. But in the field of vet and ag, they would get credit after the fact through an articulation agreement. I think sometimes people don't understand that terminology, but both of them eventually lead to college credit.
Yes, ma'am. And our articulation agreement is with St. Pete State College with the CVA program. So they're actually getting college credit through them, and we can actually do a feeder program through them. And if they go through them, I believe it's more credits that they will actually earn than just those 6 credits.
That is amazing. And I understand you and your colleague in the Ag and Vet program are both graduates of the University of Florida.
Yes, ma'am. Go Gators.
And there is the University of Florida presence in St. Lucie County for those 2 fields. Can you just mention that briefly?
We have, the University of Florida has some great research programs here, or research centers here in St. Lucie County. We've partnered up with them, whether it's in the aquaculture field or experimentation field with the vet assistants and stuff like that. We're doing some industry tours where we're going on and the students are going to those facilities and doing some of those industry tours and seeing how later on, hopefully, they can take what their knowledge is here and apply that into a career field. And we're also going to the University of Florida is one of our stops when we're doing our junior tour. As they go into their senior year, we're taking them to different colleges throughout the whole Southeast so they can actually see the veterinary programs and see what they can aspire to look forward to.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, moving on to Mr. Sloan, the assistant principal at Fort Pierce Westwood High School. You do work with those 2 programs we just featured, but you actually have a lot of contact now because you're physically located at the Marine Oceanographic Academy campus, which is over at the FAU Harbor Branch campus, correct? So that program is also science-based for students interested in marine biology. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about how the students learn and what is unique about the Marine Oceanographic
Sure.
Academy?
I think you kind of touched on it first. The unique thing being the location. We are our own little campus, our own little small learning community, and we are right next door to Harbor Branch. So students interested in a small high school setting, that's kind of what we do. We have about 260 kids, so everyone knows everyone essentially, so it could be good or bad depending on the type of student you are. But the second big draw is the fact that nearly every day we are next door with Harbor Branch working with the scientists. Every science class on campus, depending on the class, will have 10 to 20% of the time devoted to working with Harbor Branch. So, I mean, we have things from laser diffraction in the water to looking at the number of pollutants in it. We've done research with them for recently with the pollution in the Indian River Lagoon, surveying that. The newest thing we've worked on is with the technology coming nowadays. Typically, when you go out to do dives with submersibles in the ocean, whoever's on the ship is who gets firsthand knowledge. They've now built in live feed cameras, so we're having students actually get to participate in the dive with the scientists as it's going on. So that's been a new thing with us. One of the other things we do is we do get research and access to the library, so we actually get a full university library and the resources with that. There's also other things. We do seining, which is essentially collecting animals and shells on the ground, canoeing, core samples. So we got a little bit of the higher end stuff and a little bit of the fun stuff for the kids. So they enjoy that kind of stuff.
So when we say they're working with the scientists, we don't really mean the scientists are coming in and lecturing. The students are actually working side by side in the field?
Yep. And they're with them. The activities, Harbor Branch has 2 employees that are dedicated to specifically designing the activities so that they match with what the scientists are doing as well as what the curriculum we're covering contains.
Wonderful. So that is particularly for their science curriculum. For the other courses, are the students in college-level courses, or what does the rest of their curriculum look like?
In terms of the different classes, we have, this past year we had 9 dual enrollment classes on campus, which equates to about 27 college credits. We also had 8 AP classes. Depending on how the college is, that can be anywhere from 24 credits higher, depending on your pass rate and what level you get. So students there are involved with all different levels, from honors all the way through AP and dual enrollment. And though there is a science focus, I don't want to deter people because just because it's marine biology or marine science, we have a lot of kids that go on to nursing, to vet, medical, business. So it's something that, even though we talk about it being marine-based, it really appeals to a broad range of kids.
Yes, and in fact, I have worked with a lot of students who go and take a look at the Marine Oceanographic Academy and select it partially because of the school environment and the size of the school. How would it compare to our large high schools?
Well, I know I've worked at a large high school, and all of them have the small learning community feel, and they have the small school within the school. I guess what helps us is just a physical location. Since we are at a different place, we are isolated and small in that regard. So I don't want to take away from the other schools and what they do, but I think just our location and our tight-knit group makes it a little bit more of a personalized education.
And so you tend to run about 350 to 400 students on the campus, and it's grades 9 through 12, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, we max out. The goal was 100 students per grade, so if we were max out, we would be at 400, and it's 9 through 12.
Okay. And some of the students also participate in activities on Fort Pierce Westwood's campus.
Correct.
Is that correct? So what types of activities are they eligible to participate in?
I like to say you get the benefits of a small campus feel with all the benefits of a large school. You can play at all the sports. We have students in band, ROTC, art, drama, chorus, all the athletic sports. So you really aren't limited in any way other than during the day you may not be directly on the main campus, the big campus.
Okay, and so for students interested in applying for MOA, of course we want them to have some interest in the field. Mm-hmm. What are the other entry criteria?
We really look at 4 things. The 2 big ones being their FCAT scores and or their end of course scores, the passing score 3 or higher. We also look for attendance, making sure they're coming to school, as well as no major behavioral issues.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to thank all of you today for sharing your wonderful programs. How exciting to work in such unique programs and work with the students every day in those career interests. It's wonderful. I also want to emphasize that we have these types of programs, and certainly college level and career technical programs, in all of our high schools. These are for students who are interested in these particular fields, and the curriculum is offered only on these 4 campuses. So we're very excited to have the opportunity to offer these to our students. So let's talk about how you apply. As I mentioned earlier, there will be 2 application periods. That is because you're only permitted to apply for 1 program. So we ask that students take a close look at the entry criteria, make sure they qualify, and be certain that that is a decision that they're willing to commit to and that they're really there for the curriculum. So the first round will begin on November 7th, and the deadline for turning in those applications will be November 14th. Students will then be notified if they gained entry into the program that they selected, and if not, there is one more opportunity to apply for any available remaining seats in the programs. So to hear more about it, we invite you to our Attractor Night, which is November 6th at the Havert Fenn Center in Fort Pierce. It is on Virginia Avenue. It will be a very tight agenda, so every family will have an opportunity to hear about all of the programs, pick up the applications, and learn much more, in much more detail, from the instructors and administrators that we had here today. So I do hope that you join us on that very special evening, again on November 6th at 6 o'clock. I am also excited to tell you about one more event, which is the same week, November 5th. This is regarding college night for juniors and seniors. For all students that are beginning their college planning, we have more than 60 colleges and universities coming to the Port St. Lucie Civic Center on November 5th at 6 o'clock. This is a great annual event that we do in conjunction with Martin County School District, and we bring in all of these recruiters to talk to our juniors and seniors about opportunities at their sites. We encourage students to come prepared with questions that will really enhance their college search. Also in attendance, there will be military personnel, other post-secondary institutions, as well as financial institutions that can help you with your family planning. We thank you for listening in to Secondary Treasures, Unlocking Your Future, and we hope you join us in our next episode when we will talk more about college planning for you and your future. Thank you again.